Hi, this is Brianna Mills. This is my demonstrative speech on how to make chocolate chip cookies, and these are my two spectators. I want you to close your eyes. Now think about how you've had a long day at work or at school. You're stressed and you're tired, and you walk into your home and the smell hits you. The smell of delicious chocolate chip cookies baking in the oven. The scent fills your home and you can't wait to go eat them. Go ahead and open your eyes. Today, I'll be teaching you how to make those chocolate chip cookies from scratch. So instead of just thinking about that wonderful smell, you can make your own. Chocolate chip cookies are something everybody's familiar with. And even if you aren't the biggest fan of them, this recipe is really quick and really easy, and it'll help you make multiple different types of cookies. Making cookies can be broken into 3 easy sections, which is what we're talking about today. The first one is ingredients, the second, mixing the ingredients, and finally, baking them. Now, I know I'm tired of sitting here thinking about all of these cookies. Let's just figure out what we need and how to make them. The ingredients of a cookie are like a concrete base to your home. You must put in the correct amount at the right time with the right stuff. There are 2 different forms of ingredients, dry and wet. First, we're going to cover the dry ingredients and how much you need. The amounts I'm providing are going to make you 48 yummy cookies, and the recipe I will be using is the Ultimate Chocolate Chip Cookies at bettycrocker.com. So, the dry ingredients, you need 2 1/4 of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, and 3/4 cup of packed brown sugar. Now, every good cookie can't just be made with dry ingredients, of course, so let's figure out what the wet ingredients are and how you can make your gooey and scrumptious cookie. First, you need 1 cup of softened butter. I take my butter out about an hour beforehand, just so it's nice and soft and easy to mix. And then you will need 1 egg and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then, of course, we'll get to the chocolate chip later. Oops. Well, now that we have what we need, we're going to talk about how to mix them. It's imperative to mix the cookies correctly, mixing the dry ingredients with one another and the wet ingredients with one another. Now, before we start on that, I do want to tell you to start your oven at 375, and that way it can cook while we are mixing everything. So, in a large bowl, or in a small bowl, you mix your flour, your baking soda, and your salt. You're going to set this bowl aside, and we'll come back to that later. In a large bowl, you're going to beat the softened butter and your sugars with electric mixer on medium speed for about a minute or until it's nice and fluffy. And make sure to scrape the side of the bowls occasionally so you're including everything that goes in it. Now, after that, you're going to beat in 1 egg and vanilla until smooth. Stir in flour mix just until it was blended. After that, the dough is going to be like normal cookie dough that you get at the store. It's going to have a nice and kind of firm but also gooey texture, which is what you want. So after that, in case you wanted to make healthier cookies, according to Insider.com, if you want to make healthier, you can switch to from the semi-sweet chocolate chips to dark chocolate chips. It contains less sugar, and there's more tips and tricks on that website too if you want healthier cookies. So, finally, let's go over the last 2 parts so we can hurry up and eat these cookies. Now that we know how to make our cookie dough, which tastes amazing by itself, by the way, we're going to go over the last 2 steps to finish making our delicious chocolate chip cookies. To be able to put them in the oven, we're going to pick a pan to put our rolls of dough on. This is the pan I usually use. This needs to be a non-stick pan. That way our cookies don't crust to the bottom and they don't get stuck to the pan and all gooey. Now, we're going to take our cookie dough, and we're going to merge it into a ball. I usually rub it on my hands just like we did when we used to play with Play-Doh when we were younger, and make about the size that would fit on a teaspoon. I also lay them on the pan about 2 inches apart, so I usually have 4 going across and then 3 going up. So there's approximately 12 on each pan. Finally, we are going to put the recipe we have been working so very hard on in the oven. As I said in the beginning, I set the oven at 375 and let it warm up while I mix everything together. When it's nice and toasty and time to put the cookies in on the pan, I put the one tray in and cook them in the oven for 7 to 8 minutes. I tend to look for a slight golden color around the edges before I take it out because I prefer my cookies with the crispier side but gooier inside. However, according to finecooking.com, a low temperature and longer baking time yields to crispier and thinner cookies, while higher temperatures and shorter baking times make softer, thicker cookies. So it's completely up to you and how you prefer your cookies. You now know what you need, what the ingredients are, how to mix them, and finally how to bake them. And you must admit, it's really easy for such a yummy treat. So, once more, I want you to close your eyes and think about what I told you in the beginning. Walking in after a stressful day of work or school, and your home is filled with the scent of freshly baked cookies. Now, I want you to open your eyes. That's not just a dream anymore. It can be a reality. So using this recipe, get up and make it happen. You deserve that tasty treat. Cool. And thank you. Here are my spectators.